good evening, and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's tea time, and it's evening tea. And tonight in the studio, I am joined with James Hergott, the CEO of Radical Body Transformations. So I'm going to just share a little bit on James, and then James is going to share all the incredible things that he's doing and the incredible transformations that are happening right under his own eyes. So a little bit on James. James Hergott is lifelong passion for storytelling combined with his vast experience as a filmmaker, writer, director, producer, creative consultant, and bodybuilding, culminated into Radical Body Transformations documentary series and fitness weight loss movement. Season 1 and 2 has been released via Google Play, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand, and is now filming its third season as the RBT fitness movement gains new worldwide participants and monument each day. His first feature film, All That I Need, debuted at the Cannes International Film Festival in 2005 and secured a limited theatrical release with Regal Entertainment Group. The film gained critical acclaim and symbolized the movement in which Hergott was recognized as a filmmaker to watch. The San Antonio Express News commented Hergott for showcasing gumption and created sleight of hands, sure to take his further as a director and writer. And for more on James, you can check out his full bio on Miss Liz's Tea Times Making a Difference on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. All of his bio is all over. It is plastered, so you can see more on James a little bit. So welcome, James, to Tea Time. It is an honor to have you here. It's been a bumpy tea time for us. We were supposed to have it back in September, but things happened, and here we are tonight. So, James, welcome.
Well, thank you for that and the lavish introduction. Do you prefer Elizabeth or Liz?
Miss Liz is good, or Liz or Elizabeth. It doesn't really matter. I have many names, so.
All right.
So if you'd like to share a little bit, James, on how it all started and why you do what you do for Radical Body Transformations.
Well, my career or the show or?
All of it, right from the get-go.
Oh, man. I was always interested in filmmaking. When I was in high school, I got I've got like a camcorder, and I'm of the generation that we were sort of the first ones to be able to have something like that. And I would film films in the neighborhood with kids, and I had a passion for it. And it's interesting because I started working out and I saw a significant change with my body. Like, I was different than a lot of our participants in that I was very thin. And I started lifting weights, and within a year, I added like 50 or 60 pounds of muscle. And it was really a profound moment because I realized that there was a huge connection between putting in effort and what you believe and what's achievable. So taking that, I thought, well, let's see what else I can change in my life. And I applied that to my schoolwork, and I was kind of like a C student, and I applied myself. And when I graduated, I was like the top male in terms of my class. So again, I proved it to myself. Okay, if I didn't think I was good at school, so since I focused on this, I did well at it. So I decided to go for my dreams, and I ended up moving to California, and met a number of mentors along the way that helped me, and essentially got my first movie into theaters, which you had mentioned in the bio. And then from there, I just kind of pursued it and, had ups and downs, just like any kind of business venture. And then I had always worked out, so I wanted to try, I saw sort of an advertisement for a bodybuilding contest that was in my small hometown. So kind of just as like a bucket list thing, I thought I would try it. And I won the competition, and I was kind of bitten by the bug, and I did a couple more after that. And then really RBT came as a result of all these things coming together, where my filmmaking, my passion for bodybuilding, and a desire to help people. And I guess also going back to what I was saying about high school, kind of a belief that you can do what you set your mind to, and wanting to show that to other people and show other people doing that. So that's kind of the genesis of radical body transformations. And then in 2018, I met with Anthony Lawley and Carlos Angelucci, and they became my business partners in the venture. And we've grown exponentially since then, doing contests. We've got clothing like this, and Michelle, who's my partner, she creates a number of clothing for us, and we've expanded into a lot of different things right now, and we're wrapping up our most recent contest, which was this summer, and we have a number of successful people who have done what I said from high school, which is completely transform their bodies in a 12-week period, and some really compelling stories, both men and women of all ages. So I guess that's my most brief sum up of my entire life.
So how did the name come about, James?
It was one of those things that just hit me. I wanted to have something like extreme, or something that just wasn't transformation, that was like maybe a step above that. So I was looking at something like extreme, but I think I used a thesaurus, and I saw radical, and of course I'm kind of a kid of the 80s. So I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting title. And now you hear it all the time. Like I hear people say, using the term radical transformation in terms of technology and like a bunch of different things that people use it for. So I just thought that radical transformations summed up the idea of, people changing and evolving and doing it in the type of way that was sort of shocking and intense. And Anthony, my business partner, he did his own radical transformation, which is pretty astounding. And so it's just kind of, I guess, fit. And it was one of those things, just like the Beatles song that they write in 10 minutes that becomes a hit. It just was one of those things that just, I didn't do a lot of thinking about. It just kind of came together.
So what has the biggest impact been for you for the whole journey right now, James, with all of the people that you've been working with?
Well, when I started it, like I said, I wanted to merge my passions. So you have the filmmaking aspect and the bodybuilding aspect, and it was somewhat of an indulgence to be able to merge those things, because I thought, it's two things that I love, and I'll put them together and it'll be fun. But what really happened was that as I went up and started capturing these stories and interviewing people, there would be these responses where people would basically cry, and they would reveal themselves. They would talk about how vulnerable they are in their story, and maybe let you into things that they didn't normally let people into. I had that actually happen a number of times, where people have said, like, not even their close friends really know about this, but they feel brave enough because the cameras are there and because they've gone on this journey to tell the story. And so there's a few times when I, as host, was interviewing people, and it was very hard not to break down, because the emotional impact was so profound on people. It was life-changing. So that's kind of where it went from being sort of a fun project to something more intense. And I realized that I could help people, and that there was a whole satisfaction with that.
I really like that you've made a difference in people's lives, right? Because just by standing up and saying, you know what, we need to change. And I've been watching some of the transformations that have been going on with the contest that you had on, and some of the stories are amazing, like truly transformational stories, overcoming hardships in life. I really want people to check out James and all the incredible work that he's doing, because he is making a difference in more ways than he realizes by just having the mindset and the body transformation done. There's a whole lot more than just all of that together, because I've really paid attention to the videos that you've been sending me and that you've been posting on your sites, James. And as a survivor of abuse and overcoming hardships, I really just want to thank you for your service, for what you're doing for others, and that you're from Canada and that you moved to California. So that was nice to know as well, right? So what message would you like to give to the people that are out there that are not understanding the whole transformation part? Because there's the bodybuilding, there's the weight, there's the body weight loss, but there's also the mindset and change in the growth as well, that I'm noticing through your videos and through the transformation that radical body transformation is doing. So what message would you like to give to all the viewers out there?
Well, and by the way, I was actually born in Cornwall, where you're located. So yes, small world. And thank you to Miss Paulson for introducing us. I think that was awesome. And I guess the message would be that it's not a vain experience. What really happens here is that by people changing their lives, and in many cases there's health issues, and by changing their health, they're grabbing control of their life and taking control of their destiny, and it's a very empowering thing. And we actually have had situations where people have had to leave partners or maybe family members or other friends who want to sabotage people. And not that we push that, but it just kind of happens as a sort of something that grows out of the fact that they're doing this transformation and they're sort of outgrowing certain people. And if they have negativity in their life, a lot of times that there's a point where that rubs up against their change and their decision to better themselves. So they have to get rid of people, frankly, that in their life that are trying to hold them back. So and the overall thing is that this is a lifestyle change. So it's like you have to change your whole mentality. It's like almost like getting over an addiction or something like that. And it's an incredible difficult thing to do because behavioral change is difficult. But once you do that and you unlock that, it's very empowering, and you really feel like you can do anything, because like you're changing something that's physical. And when you can see those before and after pictures, and it happens gradually, so you don't notice it yourself, but when you see the pictures and what you're able to do, and we have a number of situations where this has happened, people are just amazed what they're able to accomplish. I mean, you're changing, molecular structure. You're changing something physical. Imagine what you can do if you set your mind to other things in your life. But even in the process of doing that, you are changing other things in your life, because by changing your body, it's all the changes you have to make to do that really changes your mindset. You're taking control of your life. You're no longer just adrift, aimlessly at sea. You're charting a course and going in a direction. And that's a very, very powerful thing. So for example, my partner, she has a sister named Debbie, and she went into a local gym, and she got like an assessment done, and she's lost now like 48 pounds over the last 6 months. And she's in her 50s, middle-aged woman, and just a retired teacher, like nothing crazy. Like she didn't do it because she wants to have abs or anything. She just wanted to get into better shape and better health. And she went into the gym and they tested her, and she got like, they put her through the paces of different activities and stuff. And she was scoring at like a 35-year-old in excellent shape in terms of all the different things. So, she was so enthusiastic to share that with me. And I just think that it's something that you see in people, and it motivated her to make other changes in her life. And, she had a house that she lived in for many years that was too big for what she needed, and she got rid of that and sold it. And so it kind of helps people get organized in a lot of other ways, because you're organizing your mindset and you're focused on a purpose instead of just kind of letting life, pull you through.
So James, you also have a website, right? And you have a store where people can buy products. What do these products do? Is it just to promote the RBT, or is it to encourage transformation?
Well, if you're talking the merchandise, which we have a merchandise store, rbtmarket.com. We don't make like a big profit margin or anything on it. So it's primarily to promote the brand and, like you mentioned, the community. So we have a very thriving community of people that uplift and support each other. And my partner really tries to put an effort to make clothing that's stylish and, hip and now. And she does different things for different seasons and all that sort of thing. And we're always putting different products out there. So it's not so much a profit earner as it is getting the brand out there. And then another component would be our coaching, which is probably the core of our business, because we take people that approach us and want to make a change, and we put them with an expert coach, and a coach gives them a diet, a training regimen, supplement plan, all the things that are necessary, and it's all customized to them. And that's really been the thing that kind of changes people's lives.
So James, is the contest that I've been seeing the videos on, is that contest over with now? Or are you having another one? How does that work?
Sure. So that contest is wrapped up now. And
okay.
what's happening is we're going to be releasing the results in a few days. And then, we announced the top 20, and then we're going to release the results. And we have a variety of prizes. So we have cash prizes. We have coaching, like our coaches as prizes. We have supplement package from Magnum as prizes. We have jewelry from Miss Paulson's company, and it's going to be like these pendants, and those are going to be for women who have like really powerful stories. And there's a number of those that we're going to be giving away, and some merchandise from our store as well. So we have all these really cool prizes that we're giving out. And then we're starting a new contest, probably October 15th. It's going to be like a fall challenge. And we have another thing too, which is we have what's called a legacy program, which is like sometimes people could only change so much over 12 weeks. So if they're more, like I mentioned, Debbie, the sister of my partner, her transformation was really over like 6 months. So we have people that can do a transformation over like 6 months or a year and have prizes for that, so that there's more of a time for people to really lose the weight or whatever it is that they want to change. And it'll be judged more on an overall basis with time.
Okay, I found a few links on you, James. If you'd like to explain what the links are about, I'm going to bring them up on the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, rbtmarket.com.
Okay, so I have found the RBTS show. So is that like where we can find videos and more on?
So RBT Market, you can, even buy fitness equipment on there, but we have, like I said, the merchandise and stuff. The rbtshow.com, we have like the news of what's going on. So I mentioned my business partner, Anthony Lawley. So we released a movie that I produced called From Fat Lolly to Six Pack Lolly, which has been very successful doing the festivals and in sales on Amazon. And so it's got kind of a thing on there and how you can buy it. We've got the show and how to find the show on there. We have how you can find our coaches, and we can hook you up with a coach on there. And then it's got other things in terms of like links to our Facebook group and just all around kind of information on the latest contest. Like right now, it's got kind of the breakdown of what the prizes are for the contest and our submission forms and things like that. So if you want to enter the October contest, that's the way to do it, is through our online portal, so to speak. And so just kind of general information. And then I would say the RBT community on Facebook is a really good resource just because of the energy of everybody there. Everybody's very helpful. There's not really any cattiness or negativity, even though people might be competing in the challenges. They don't take it on there in like a competitive put down type way. It's actually people are pulling for other people's success, because while it is important that people want to win a prize, the overall most important aspect is the success of the transformation and what that means. And that's really the ultimate prize. So everybody's very supportive because of that.
Yeah, I found a bunch of links on James. If you Google James, you will see a lot on James. So I found this link for Amazon. Could you share with the viewers what the Amazon link is for?
That's probably for the show. That looks for the show. I don't know about in Canada right now. I know that in the US you can do it if you have Prime. I think you might be able to purchase it through Amazon, but you might have to pay per episode. And then it's also on Apple TV. It's also on Google Play. So there are other places that you can find the show. And well, yeah, and my partner was saying about the Fat Lolly movie, but obviously this link has radical body transformations in the title. So
oh, okay. So is that something else that I should have found?
Yeah, that's the documentary I was talking about, where my business partner lost 135 pounds, and he's like a successful real estate entrepreneur in New York, and like many entrepreneurs, he would go out to dinners and all of this sort of thing, and he was sort of like, overweight and robust, and he wanted to make a change with his body. And it's a profound documentary, because he literally goes from kind of an overweight Santa Claus looking body to ripped with six pack. And so that's a Fat Lolly documentary, and it's done very well at contests.
That's cool. I'm going to have to look for that one, because I didn't find that one. I found all of the other stuff because I've been digging and I do my homework. So I like to always present my guests with a lot of information. For the viewers out there who want to know more on the guest, please reach out. Like, all of my guests are public individuals, and they are looking to connect and network with you. With the radical body transformation, that is worldwide, correct?
You mean like we can take anybody from worldwide? Yeah. I mean, our coaches, obviously if there's some crazy language somebody speaks, we won't have an interpreter for that, but
well, that will come maybe in the future, right? The 3 to 5 year plan or something, or goal, right? So,
right.
So.
But yeah, we can work with anybody. And we have coaches that work with people worldwide, and the show we've been filming in everywhere from Ireland, Australia, the UK, and we have people competing in our contest right now from these places as well. So mostly English-speaking places. We have people that contact us. We do have some people that are coaches that speak a little bit of Spanish, so which we have to delve into more. But yeah, we're just we're worldwide, and we help people all over.
So I did find you on Instagram.
Uh-oh. No.
I found radical body transformation on Instagram, and I've also found James on Instagram. So, like I said, James is all over. If you do a research on James, you'll find him. He's out there. James, what message would you like to give everybody why you came on Teatime today?
Well, I think it's like I said, my friend, reached out to me, and she said, this is Julianne Paulson, that she's been helping with the jewelry. Her company is providing a bunch of pendants for various winners and females. And she's, it's a Christian, or she's Christian faith-based. And, she really believes in women and empowering women. And the pendants and stuff that we're going to give out are for some pretty wild stories, and, of women overcoming tremendous obstacles. So, she's aware of you and saw what I'm doing with RBT and put us in touch with each other, and thought that it would be great. And then I noticed that you're from Cornwall, which, like I said, I was born there. So
do you even miss Cornwall?
Well, I was like a kid, right? I mean, I'm still in Canada. I lived in California for 12 years, and I'm living back in Canada. So I don't really remember a lot about Cornwall, other than a little bit from school and stuff like that. So yeah, and some crazy stories that drove my parents crazy. I put the car into reverse at one point, the driveway, and it went back and slammed in the garage of the person across the road. So that was memorable.
Good old memories, right?
Yeah.
So now that we're on Teatime, James, we've got a little bit out about the radical body transformation, and we'll get back into that because we're not done yet. What does tea mean to James?
What does tea mean to James?
Yeah.
The letter T, or like drinking tea?
We're going to do the drinking tea right now.
Okay. Well, I don't drink tea, but I drink caffeine.
And you're not the first guest to tell me that. And I like that. I like the honesty of my guests, because I drink my tea. So it isn't about the beverage. But when you think of tea, what does tea mean to you, James?
Well, I think of England. I think of people taking time. They talk about tea time, and it's taking a break. And I know a little bit about caffeine just from like all my kind of bodybuilding stuff, and it was actually introduced and was very helpful for workers. It really helped with workers and their productivity. And actually, a lot of companies started to take a tea time because they found out that if they give a break to workers and they drink tea, even though they take that 10 minutes or whatever, they end up being more productive throughout the day from taking that time. So I guess it would be a way to take a moment to collect your thoughts and and to take an energetic substance and come back and be more efficient.
And due to caffeine, right?
Yes.
No, I really like that my guests are honest and open with me, because you don't need to be drinking tea to come on Tea Time. You don't have to even like tea to be on Tea Time, because Tea Time is not about a beverage. Tea Time is about the transformation of our life stories. You're the vessel, you're the cup, and what you're serving to the world is your tea. So now, James, what does tea mean to you? The letter TEA. Give me a word for each letter.
Transformation. And what was the word that I gave to you? Evolve, which is E, right? And anytime, I'll come on anytime with you.
Oh, well, there you go. See? And now you just gave me who you are as a person, James. Transformation. Oh. You always wanted transformation in your life, even in your past. Evolving, you're evolving now in your present. And anytime in the future, you're ready to do it anytime, anywhere. So you just gave yourself your tea of who you are. And I want to thank you for sharing a strong tea. And if all the viewers are out there watching the little mini videos that I'm creating for each of the guests, you will see their words are in there. And on their poster, I've asked all of my guests to give me one word. And James's word was evolving. So I want to get more into the word evolving with you, James. Why do you pick that word to describe yourself?
Well, I think that change suggests that you're going from one thing to something completely different, whereas evolving is possible. It's improving as a person. And I've always, like I said, with high school and working out and seeing the changes I had, and then applying that to my education, and applying that to my film career, I'm a real believer that you could take control of your life and make change. So what I wanted to do with my life is continue to evolve. And I feel that, and even actually as I'm older, I feel this way stronger. I feel that I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly growing as a person. I'm constantly trying to improve. And, I listen to podcasts all the time when I'm working out, so that not only am I, training my body, but training my mind. And I look at myself as somebody that over time continues to improve as a person and continues to want to. And I never rest on my laurels, really. And even if I was happy with what I achieved, I think that being in the pursuit of improvement gives you a sense of purpose, that gives you happiness. And I think you feel that, it's humbling too, so that you don't just feel that, you're better than other people, because there's always areas in your life where you're short. And I'm constantly thinking about how to be a better partner to my partner, a better father to my daughter, a better contributor to radical body transformations, a better speaker on camera. I constantly want to improve myself. So I see myself as in the process. I'm not like a completed thing.
Well, we're always transforming, right? We're always changing and evolving. And I like that you use that word evolving, because it is true. With everything that you're doing, you're evolving each and every day. You're connecting to different people out there. And for anyone out there who wants to know more on James, please check out James's website. Check him out on Instagram. I've also found him on TikTok. I've found this man all over the place. So there's no reason why you can't get a hold of James. James is on TikTok with Radical Body Transformations. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He is all over. So please check him out. Connect with him if you are looking to transform your life. And James is very easy to speak to. I've been speaking with James for a couple of weeks now, back and forth, and very easygoing. And I really like that you're open, James, like that. It's not always that easy to speak to somebody you don't know, and we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of weeks. So for all the viewers that are out there, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you're watching replay, please put the replay. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're watching from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, I want to know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions that you would like me to relate to James after the tea time, please just put them in the comments and I will for sure pass that along to James. So James, what message do you want to give to all of the people that have worked with you in your whole entire life? What message would you like to give to them right now?
They've already worked with?
Yeah.
Like you mean the Transformers, or you mean like from a business point of view?
All the Power Rangers. Let's call them Power Rangers because they're radical, right? When I heard the word radical, I thought of Power Rangers. I don't know why. But
I would say you guys are doing awesome. I'm really, really impressed with how supportive they all are. I'm very impressed with the transformations. I'm very impressed with the ingenuity of the different posts that they do. And sometimes they do TikTok videos and videos with other members, and they come up with revealing things where they, talk about themselves and something that's very personal. And I think that that's amazing, because what happens is when they reveal those things, oftentimes there's other people out there that feel the exact same way that can relate to that, and it really touches them and has an impact. So it's an important and powerful thing. So I love you guys, and you're doing awesome, and don't give up. Do the legacy challenge, continue, or the next fall challenge, continue with us and continue to grow. And the worst thing is to do a transformation and give up or something and go back to where you started. So I don't want that to happen to any of our people, because there's such an incredible group that's have come so far. And I alluded to this about people trying to hold you back in your life. And I think that's a powerful message. If you do have somebody that they say to you, like, why are you doing this? And why are you having to eat that? And they're a negative force that's trying to get you off of improving yourself. It's a very difficult thing, but you have to really ask yourself, is this somebody that's important in my life, or is this somebody that's actually strangling your progress, so to speak? And I think that it's important always to recognize that not everybody has your best interests at heart, and it's okay to focus on yourself. And a lot of the people that join our challenge, there are people pleasers who they've spent their life raising children, looking after other people, and they're finally doing something for themselves. And I commend that. And so thanks to all of you. And you guys inspire me. It keeps me on my toes, because just such incredible people with important messages to share.
What was the most important statement that was ever made to you, James, through your transformation from someone? And do you remember who it was?
I think it's something that I've heard from more than one person, but I just think when people say that it's changed their life, because that's such a humbling thing to hear. It's a very powerful thing to hear, especially when it's done in an emotional way where there's tears and they say, you've changed my life, or RBT has changed my life. And a lot of times it's hard for me to hear because it's so intense. And I don't want to say I don't feel worthy, but I don't want to take credit for that, because it's really a reflection on the person who has made the change. But they say things about, like, they've made lifelong friendships, and they talk about how they've learned things that, they never knew, and they have an outlook that they never had before. So I think that's really what connects with me. That's, very intense.
I asked you that question because we sometimes don't realize that only one person actually does the impact on us as well. It might have been the littlest thing when we were a child or an adult, and it just made us look back and say, you know what, hey, I can do this. And thank you for those words, and thank you for that moment. when you look back at your whole transformation, James, as a person, as an individual, as a man, as a father, what has been the biggest impact in your life?
Well, obviously, having a child is a big impact. I was, kind of a bachelor type before that, and very just focused on business, and having a daughter put a certain balance that I didn't expect. And I kind of get swept into, there's sort of a thing in media right now where kids will hold you back. And especially I think that for women, they sort of, just focus on your career and stuff like that. And having a child myself, I think it was a horrible message in that I almost went through a time where I thought I wasn't going to have a kid. Didn't even know if I wanted to get married. I was just going to focus on business and kind of live sort of a hedonistic life of, I'm going to travel and focus on business and make money and do this and that. And what I didn't really account for in having a child that changed me is that, well, one, you see yourself in a child, but you start to think about the second half of your life and the impact of the second half of your life. And you are able to see things from more perspectives. And it's an important thing. And so it made me realize that there's a lot of things, maybe messages out there that you can get caught up in, and to not really believe the hype. And so that's a sad thing I see for a lot of women. I've met a lot of incredible women that are career women, intelligent women that, have never had children and don't think they want children. And of course, it might not be for everybody, but it's something to really think about, because, like I said, it was life changing for me. And it opened my eyes to see a lot of things I hadn't seen before. And of course, there's a love that you have and an empathy you gain and certain other things that really round you out as a person.
Do you feel becoming a father has completed the circle for your transformation?
Well, like I said, I'm still evolving, so I don't think that the circle's completed. So
I like that answer. I really was hoping that you would say it wasn't closed, because I don't like closed circles, because when you close a circle, then it means that you're just done growing, right? You're done learning, right? So I like an open circle, like it continues on. So what message would you like to give to the youths out there that are watching, who might not think that bodybuilding is a mindset? Like, because a lot of people will look at bodybuilding as just getting muscles, right? But there's a whole different aspect behind the whole bodybuilding process, right?
Well, there's different things. Of course, there's competitive bodybuilding. There's different levels. But if you want to go with, from a self-improvement point of view, with working out, eating proper, I think that I don't think there's any, not only is there not any shame in that, but I think that part of the problem with kind of the whole body shaming, that, you should accept any body and this and that, is that there is health ramifications. And, you hear that with COVID and stuff as well. And, I have a lot of people that approach me, and what happens is they've been okay with how they look physically. Like, they've come to accept how they look physically, but then it gets to a point that they develop, diabetes or breathing condition, or they have a heart attack or stroke or something like that. And they go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, no, you have to lose weight. And then they approach me, and you don't ever want to be in a position where you have to try and fix something after the fact, right? Like, it's a lot harder to fix a car after something's broken than to maintain it. So I think that don't get so caught up in maybe the extremes of Mr. Olympia and this and that. But in terms of like caring for your body, I think that's a very noble thing, to look after yourself and to maintain yourself. And it helps maintain at least for me, my mentality too, because when I work out, it's sort of a form of meditation. It allows me to clear my head. It allows me to deal with stress and a lot of other things. So I think it's really important to stay active. And I also believe that, like 100 years, 200 years ago, without, the plugged in times that we have now, people were more active by nature. Their jobs would be active. So I think that we were meant to be active, and that in the world that we live in now, where people aren't as active, the body wasn't really set up that way. And I think that causes a lot of depression and other issues with people because they are so sedate. So I think it's very important to move. And of course, there's a lot of food that's produced now that wasn't produced in the past. So we live in kind of an extraordinary time where you have access to all kinds of information, and it's amazing that way. But in terms of like activity level and stuff like that, people are getting more and more obese. People are less and less active, and these are bad things for the future for yourself. And if your health goes, nothing else really matters. So I think it's important to start habits when you're young. And just seeing all the people that come to me wanting to come join the contest or the show, you can see how things start as patterns, and then they don't change them until they have to sometimes. And that's really an unfortunate position to be in.
I noticed that you mentioned the mental health. Are you big on mental health, on the importance of mental health and speaking about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really the core of what this is, because when you change your mentality, that you have to change your mentality to go through the physical change. And so many people that have joined RBT started working out, and they've had reductions in chronic illnesses, but also a lot of mental conditions have been, they go to the gym and they find that they're less anxious, less depressed. Maybe they had, they're diagnosed with PTSD, and we've had people that have come on and their symptoms have dramatically reduced by going and working out. And so I think it's just something where, again, maybe back, 100, 200 years ago, a person would be working on the farm. They'd wake up, work all day long, and they're active, and then they go to sleep. So they would get natural serotonin releases and other things that would happen. And like, I don't think it makes sense that all of a sudden there's all these people that are just depressed for no reason, So I think our lifestyles have changed, and they're not getting the stimulation and things that they need. And also it's a great time to kind of clear your head. And I don't care what you do in terms of like, if you enjoy swimming, if you enjoy yoga, if it's lifting weights, like there's so many different activities you can do. And like, something is better than nothing. Even if it's like you start with some stretching or simple things, just to get your body moving and get connected with it, and, if you don't use it, you lose it type thing. So I think it's a very important thing, and it helps connect your mind and your body and clear your mind.
Absolutely. I agree with you. A lot of times we don't realize how much our mental health is really important and how we have to keep it stable, It's like the people pleasing, like you said. A lot of people that have been people pleasers, they put their mental health on the back burner because they prefer to take care of somebody else instead of taking care of themselves. So either just getting out for a walk, lifting up weights, going swimming, like James said, meditating, taking that time for yourself. And it's okay to say, what, I want to do this for me. And that's what I'm seeing with radical body transformation and the stories that you've shared, James, is that people have taken the time for themselves, whether it's 10 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds, they've taken that time for them. And that is beautiful to see. Like, the transformations are beautiful to see. I do want to bring in, before we close up tea time in a few minutes, is what type of coaching do you have and mentoring do you have with radical body transformation?
Well, our coaches are really good at working with people, and they're not obviously licensed therapists or anything like that. It's almost more of a friendship in the pursuit of the physical changes that they gain. And what happens is that, once you become a coach and you work with a lot of different people, you start to realize, what different personalities need in order to motivate them. And we actually, we had one guy on our show, or sorry, not on our show, but on our contest, Stephen Waka, and he has kind of a bipolar thing and has a lot of mental illness. And he's working with one of our coaches, Jennifer Lopez. And Jen has this guy has called up and he's been in dark places, and she's helped talk him through things. And just him working out and having somebody there that cares for him, that he can talk to, and also having something to look forward to in terms of doing the contest, really helped change his mentality. And improve the things you're talking about. And I think, you know, it's if you're not happy within yourself, you're not going to be the best for the people around you, right? So, you know, if you're going to be grumpy or you're not optimal, you're going to take that out on the people around you, or at least you're going to be less efficient. You know, it's sort of some of our coaches have used the expression of like how they say in the airplanes, putting on the mask on yourself before you can help other people. And if you get out of sorts yourself, and God forbid your health goes, you're going to be of no use to anybody. In fact, you might be a burden. I mean, if you end up in a hospital somewhere and your loved ones have to look after you, not only are you not a help, but you're actually making things difficult for them. So I don't think it's indulgent at all to look after yourself and take that time. And I think it's going to make you somebody who's easier to get along with and better and happier and less resentful. I mean, there's a tendency to get resentful if like you're just living for other people. So I think that's an important thing, and not to look at it in terms of that you're being selfish in any way.
So James, could you tell the viewers out there where you want to take radical body transformation? I know it's really big right now, but where do you want to see it in 3 to 5 years from now?
I want to continue to grow it. We're going to keep doing these contests, and the contests are growing each time with more and more people entering, and our community is growing. And I just want to see that continue to grow because of the positivity of it and the number of lives that it touches. You know, obviously touching more lives and spreading this message, I think is a great thing. And then, you know, it becomes beyond myself, where you have people like, we have this guy, Jack Bunch, who's lost, he came down from 375 pounds and he's down to like 200 pounds. And he's also getting, you know, muscles and all this on top of it. Guy's like 61. He's going to be turning 62 in January. And he really comes on and motivates people. And we're getting people like that. So it's like, it becomes more than just me, because now it's a multiplying force where other people have undergone a transformation and then are helping send that message to other people. And this was somebody that didn't really play with their grandchildren and things like that because of, you know, they would just sit in a chair watching TV all day long. And now they're so active and they're, you know, living a vibrant life. So they've lived the being overweight and not wanting to change. And now they've undergone the change. So they're really able to send the message like, this is a powerful thing that can help you. And then that just spreads to other people. And then you don't know who that's going to touch and spread. So I would just say to continue to exponentially grow and spread this message.
We have a question here for you, James. Is there a membership for Radical Body Transformation?
Well, you could do the contest with no membership, but the membership really is, we have like a thing you could do for the website, but really it's joining a coach is the membership, I would say. So, but you can join the community and you can join the contest without having an RBT coach or without any kind of membership or anything like that. So
how would they get a hold of you for that?
Well, if you want to email me, my email is jameshergott@gmail.com. If you want to take part in a contest, I would actually join the community so that you can see all the updates on it, right? So like we put out news, but that's the RBT community on Facebook. And, you know, if you want to do something with us, if you want to do a contest or you want to join the community and you have any trouble finding the RBT community, just let me know and we'll set you up, and there's no cost for that. And it's a great place where you can ask questions and participate without there being any kind of negativity or nobody. Like I said, all the people that are in there are on a journey. So you're not going to have anybody there that is judgmental, really, because they've all undergoing a transformation at a different stage. And many times they've been where you have. And for sure, as bad as your story is, we probably have somebody in that community that's had it worse. As unbelievable as that is.
So Facebook is a place to really connect with you, right, James?
Well, connecting with me personally, you can email me if you have a question. But in terms of being able to use the resources of many collective consciousnesses in the same place, then the community is a great place because you can ask a question And like, even if you ask a fitness question, I might have a good answer for you, but there might be 30 people in there that have a totally, that they might actually be really in line with your demographic, your age, your weight, your background, that can answer it even better than I could. So it just has more brains to pull from.
And I did find something about a podcast. Are you doing a podcast on YouTube?
No, for a while. I think you saw the Jordan Peterson thing. I was interviewed.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
But I don't have really the time for that at this point in time. And I'm so engaged with what's going on. Like tomorrow, I'm doing an interview with our top 20 winners before we announce the final placings. So, and, you know, I'm working behind the scenes to find sponsors so that we can have better prizes and different prizes and things all the time. So constantly working behind the scenes and traveling and stuff. So I don't really have time to do a podcast, although, you know, it'd be fun to do.
So any final words before we wrap up your tea time?
If you're in a place, it doesn't matter like how dark a place or how much you think, you know, there's people that come to you and they say, well, I'm not in the best physical shape. I have bad knees, or maybe they even have had a bad stroke of luck with COVID and they're unemployed or whatever it is. There's not a situation you can be in where you can't improve it. I mean, we've had people who don't have any money. You know, there's this one girl, Teresa, that she lived in LA, and she didn't have a car. She was walking with a walker and started just doing simple activities, like just stretching, kind of moving her body, and was able to talk to a gym down the street who were nice enough to allow her to start working out for a while for free. And by then she was able to kind of, you know, progress away from the walker and do some things on her own. And as her frame lightened up, her knees got better, other joints got better, and she was continuing to be more and more active again with not much money. And, you know, was able to completely change her physique, her health, everything. And we've had this happen a number of times. So a lot of times, like, if there's somebody that has excuses, frankly, I don't really want to hear it, because
Me neither. I don't like excuses, right? There's no solution with excuses.
Right. We've had people with just horrific backgrounds. You know, I know you've done some work with this, but we have women that have competed in this challenge that have been sex trafficked. I mean, we've had people that were heroin addicts on the street for years. I mean, there's no story you have that we don't have that's more extreme, that people have changed their life. So it's absolutely possible that you can completely turn your life around.
Exactly. And this is what I wanted to do by having James on here, showing you guys that there's no excuses, only results. When you put your mind to it, you can actually make a difference in your life. When you choose to make a difference for your life, because it's only you that can make the difference. I really want to thank you, James, for joining me today in the studio and sharing on radical body transformations and all the incredible work that you're doing for your community. And for anybody who would like to know more on James, check him out. He's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. He's all over. If you just Google, do some research, you can actually find out incredible stuff about people when you start looking into people. And James, I want to thank you again for joining me for tea and sharing your tea. Transformation evolving anytime. I love it. It's always a different tea with every guest. And it really has been a time of transformation and getting to know you as a person and as an individual as well. So I really want to thank you. Any last words before I wrap up? And then I will share who I will have on in 2 more days, because I am bringing back the tea time guests that were postponed because of personal issues. And I will have Dr. Sherelle Mims on, the CEO of Caregiver Network. So she will be on in 2 days. So be sure to check that out. But James, any final words before we wrap up? And then I'm going to close up your tea time. And anybody who has any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you're watching replay, please put that you're watching a replay. Share these tea times. They are all public tea times. They are to bring awareness to incredible everyday people out there who are making a difference for the everyday person. And James is one of them. So James, I'd like you to close up tea time with any last words.
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Miss Liz. And I love that you're spreading positive messages and messages of hope. I know you've gone through your own struggles yourself. And I guess my last message would be that the body and mind are incredibly powerful. And I've seen things where people can, they're very resolute, and people can go from a place where their body and their mind is very broken down to, complete opposite position. So no matter what a dark place you're in or what you're facing, you can overcome it and improve yourself and your situation. So never give up, and always aim for something, because that'll at least give you hope.
Thank you so much, James. And I will see everyone for a new tea time, and we will make a difference one cup of tea at a time on October 7th at 6 p.m. with Sherelle Mims, the CEO of Network Caregiving. I will bring different flavors and different blends. And I will also have James come back in December when I have a reunion tea time where I bring back all of the guests from 2021 so you all can interact and get to know each other and network and connect with each other as well. So there is lots of things coming with Miss Liz. And I want you all to stay tuned, enjoy yourselves, and serve your cup of tea to the world. Thank you.